The year was 1992. The Security Exchanges Board of India, or SEBI, became an autonomous body 4 years after being established. Through an act enacted by Parliament in 1992, SEBI was given statutory powers. Their job? Regulate India's securities market, ensure transparency, and protect the interests of investors like you and me. More than 3 decades since that day, the market regulator and its chief is under the scanner, following a new report by US-based short seller Hindenburg Research. Yes, the same group that came out with an explosive report 18 months ago. In 2023, Hindenburg had accused the Adani Group of quote-unquote the largest con in corporate history through stock manipulation and financial misconduct. Now, in August 2024, the focus besides the Adani Group is primarily on these two individuals, Madhabi Buch, the chief of SEBI for the last 2 years, and her husband, Dhaval Buch. Whistleblower documents, investments in offshore funds, conflict of interest, claims, denials. This story has it all. Here's all you need to know about the Hindenburg SEBI Adani saga. Hello and welcome. I am Shubham Chohan. Let's get started. On 10th of August, US-based short seller Hindenburg published a report. That report leveled 3 significant charges against the SEBI chief and her husband. First, citing whistleblower documents, Hindenburg claimed SEBI chief Madhabi Buch and her husband had investments in offshore funds in Bermuda and Mauritius. These investments were made in 2 funds, IPE Plus Fund 1, registered in Mauritius, and Global Dynamic Opportunities Fund based in Bermuda. Hindenburg added that a company controlled by Vinod Adani, who is Gautam Adani's brother, had also invested in the Global Dynamic Opportunities Fund 2, which then invested in IPE Plus Fund 1. Notably, the chief investment officer of IPE Plus Fund 1 was a man called Anil Ahuja. Mr. Ahuja had served as a director of the Adani Enterprises earlier. Hindenburg claims the money from the entities in question was allegedly used by Vinod Adani to manipulate financial markets. In fact, here's a flowchart by the Indian Express that sums up this complex web of investments. In simple words, Hindenburg now correlates this investment of the Buchs with SEBI's alleged unwillingness to take quote-unquote meaningful action in the ongoing investigation against the Adani Group, which we will come to in a minute. The Buchs and the Adani Group, meanwhile, have denied any wrongdoing. The couple said the above-mentioned investments were made in 2015 in their personal capacity based in Singapore, way before Madhabi became a part of SEBI. As for Ahuja, their statement says he was a friend of Dhaval, and once he quit as the chief investment officer, the Buchs redeemed their investment in that fund. They added that at no point the fund invested in any bond, equity, or derivative of the Adani Group. The Adani Group said it has no commercial relationship with the Buchs in any way. Second, an alleged conflict of interest. In 2013, Madhabi Buch set up a consulting firm called Agora Partners in India and Singapore. Hindenburg claims Madhabi transferred 100% stake in the Singapore unit and not the Indian one into her husband's name only after she became the SEBI chief in 2022. Now, a couple of points here. A. Madhabi first joined SEBI in 2017 as a whole-time member and became the chief in 2022. And B. As per SEBI's rules and regulations for conflict of interest, board members cannot hold an office of profit or engage in activities for which they will receive any payment. So basically, any disclosure on Madhabi's part should ideally have been made in 2017 itself. Rebutting Hindenburg's claims, the couple said that the 2 consulting firms had become immediately dormant on Madhabi's appointment with SEBI. But interestingly, a report by Ayush Tiwari from Scroll has found that contrary to Buch's claims, Agora Advisory, where she holds 99% stake, reported 3.63 crore revenue in between 2019 and 2024, 3.63 crore rupees as revenue. Third, pertaining to Dhaval Buch, Madhabi's husband was appointed as senior advisor at an investment management firm called Blackstone in 2019. This reportedly without any prior experience in real estate or fund management. Hindenburg alleges that Madhabi, as part of SEBI, proposed, approved and facilitated major changes that eventually benefited Blackstone. The couple said this appointment of Dhaval was on his expertise in supply chain management. But where are these claims coming from? You see, like I said earlier, Hindenburg made headlines with a report in January 2023. It had accused the Adani Group then of brazen stock manipulation and accounting fraud scheme over the course of decades. This report was published ahead of the 20,000 crore rupees follow-on public offer or FPO of Adani Enterprises. The Adani Group rubbished all charges and called it a deliberate attempt to tarnish the company's reputation. After that report came out, Adani's companies lost $110 billion in value. And Gautam Adani himself, who's the chairperson of the group, his own wealth halved to little more than $61 billion as investors pulled out support. The report also led to an inquiry by SEBI, which is reportedly still underway. Many say SEBI is even dragging its feet despite a Supreme Court deadline on the probe against the Adani Group. On Sunday, SEBI said 2 of the 24 investigations against Adani Group were pending when the Supreme Court last passed an order on this issue in January 2024. Post that, 1 investigation was completed and the one remaining is close to completion. That is what SEBI had said. In May 2024, 6 Adani Group companies received notices from SEBI alleging violation of Indian stock market rules. The very next month, that's June, Hindenburg was issued a show-cause notice by SEBI. The regulator had alleged Hindenburg had made misleading disclosures as a scheme to profit from short selling. Hindenburg termed the notice as quote-unquote nonsense. But it's important to note Hindenburg's role too. Apart from focusing on accounting irregularities, unethical practices, and undisclosed financial issues within companies, this group, Hindenburg, is a known short seller. Now, what is short seller? Short selling basically involves the sale of a borrowed stock, anticipating a decrease in the price, and then buying it again once the price has dropped. Reportedly, Hindenburg's assessment often serves as a catalyst for these price drops, allowing the company and its investors to profit from that drop. So where do things stand currently? Politicians from India's opposition parties have demanded a joint parliamentary probe and answers from the Modi government. But there are several questions that really need to be answered. Were all, and I mean all, disclosures made by Madhabi Buch fully and in a transparent manner? Because the SEBI rules are clear on this. And second, as for conflict of interest, did she recuse herself in the pertinent matters? Meaning, did or should Madhabi Buch head an investigation into a matter related to an individual or entity where they may be having direct or indirect interests? In fact, this is what a former regulator had to say to the Indian Express. Former regulators are, however, of the view that were she and her husband to be investors in Adani-related global entities, it was incumbent upon her to be granular in her disclosures. What is important to know is her conduct as a whole-time member or the chairperson of SEBI when Adani-related complaints or investigations came to her desk. Did she recuse herself? Said a former head of the market regulator. So where does that leave Madhabi Buch? While there is a possibility that whatever SEBI or the Buchs have said in their defense would well turn out to be true, but wouldn't it be in the interest of fairness that she steps aside so that an independent probe takes place? Such a probe, experts say, will achieve 2 objectives. 1, restore the common man's trust in SEBI as a body that takes any allegation of conflict of interest or biasness extremely seriously, let alone that of the chief itself. And second, maintain the dignity and very high standards of professionalism and independence that a chief of India's securities market regulator is expected to hold. We'll keep tracking this story for you. That's all we have for this report. Thanks for watching.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.